One man that's been there from the start of this investigation is Mike Rowland. He was the interim police chief of Prichard when little Hiawayi was reported missing. Tonight, we're getting a different look at the investigation now from the guy with the inside track. From the very beginning, Mike Rowland says he never believed the case of missing Hiawayi Robinson was an abduction.
Very early in the investigation, we started to focus in on family members and possibility of someone in the family being involved in this case.
He says this surveillance video of the little girl skipping inside a convenience store, stopping at one point to hold open the door, is proof of that.
The appearance that she had on that video from the convenience store was the most convincing to me that she was with someone she was comfortable with, and she was probably with a family member.
When Hiawayi was reported missing, hundreds of people turned out to look for her. Her mother and father, the man who would ultimately be charged in the sodomy and murder of his daughter, were always nearby thanking search teams. Rowland says often in these cases, someone in the family is involved. But in the interest of fairness, investigators looked at hundreds of sex offenders and people who lived in the same apartment complex as Hiawayi.
Forensics is a very, very important part of it. And in this case, we took well over 200 DNA samples from people in the community. Each one of those samples has to be analyzed and evaluated. We also had a lot of other forensic evidence, too, that had to be evaluated, and so that takes a lot of time.
He says DNA cases can take up to 2.5 years to process, but local investigators have the help of the FBI. Now, 13 weeks later, there's an arrest.
There was no indication to us that I'm aware of that initially that there was any abuse going on, but you know, that's not an uncommon thing. There's lots of people in our nation who have been abused in their family and have carried those secrets with them for years and years and years, and maybe sometimes to their own graves.
Rowland says he doesn't know if Hiawayi was killed where she was found. Her naked body was discovered behind an abandoned building 2 days after she was reported missing in a pile of trash. Rowland doesn't believe any weapons were used. The DA said the official cause of death was homicidal violence. And Hiawayi was laid to rest Saturday, September 27th. Rowland also told me that he suspects the DA might ask for capital murder charges when that case is presented to the grand jury. For now, Robinson is being held in Metro Jail under protective custody. He has a bond hearing tomorrow morning at 8:30. You can count on Fox 10 News to be there, too, to keep you informed.